Okay. I've started recording, so go ahead and do the introduction again and explain my hideous mistake.
Hello, everybody. Uh, we are back. Guess who's back? Back again. Guess who screwed up the audio? Audio again.
Yeah, that was me. And unfortunately, this is a game that doesn't let you load back. It auto saves. Kind of Iron
Yeah.
Mans you because it
It.
doesn't want you scumming for the all the endings.
Yeah. All right. So we didn't miss too much anyway. One of the nurses um asked us to investigate to look through the morgue, or rather, one of the nurses came to us with a problem of the hospital running out of antiseptic, which is very bad. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so we volunteered to go search the storeroom for things that can be used to make like um, some form of antiseptic, in temporarily. In the morgue, we did some searching upstairs, found a couple of skulls, and dispatched them with great clumsiness on my part because it has been a while since I played this game. Um, and yeah, we are currently in the basement after having gotten the basement key and clearing out the skulls. Although it appears that there aren't skulls here anymore. Oh dear.
Oh no! Don't they refresh at a time? And I'm checking settings and accidentally popping it up in front of the view while people are talking. I am still an idiot.
Okay, so it also saved when we were doing the investigation of this guy's body.
I have that, I think.
Yeah, but I raced through it, remember, because we were
See if we
going
can.
to.
Yeah.
Yes,
Uh,
so it seems that the cause of death for this gentleman here has been listed as Spanish influenza. However, the injuries that the body has sustained suggests otherwise.
yes, because. But wait a minute. No, doesn't influenza cause massive bleeding wounds to the body?
Yeah, yeah, no, that's a thing. Oh, okay. New type of offhand weapon. Equip it and press.
To to directly absorb blood. Yep.
Hmm,
That's
that's
yeah.
right.
Use stake, use list and knife. Yeah. That's my only downside with games like this when you're doing recording or streaming is if you mess something up, it's really hard to get back what you lost.
Hmm. All right. The only. Okay, so
Wait, the Dragon Bane is an offhand weapon?
no, it's a primary weapon. I just added it to the second slot.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay, that is locked. All right.
And we also lost the beautiful ambiance of the walk up to this part.
Yeah, we did.
Oh well. This game, oh, it's a skull. This game does not lack for ambiance.
This is very true. Do you remember how you target things in this game?
I haven't actually played it yet, so no. Looks like you figured it out, or
No, that was just me aiming well.
ah,
All right, so that goes to where we just were.
I definitely feel your pain about learning how to play again. This happened to me several times on Control.
Oh yes, I remember.
And, and I think this got lost to my mistake. The idea of basically mindless zombies that can teleport. Oh, that was nice.
These skulls can be so ferocious. I'm not sure I can defeat them without becoming stronger. To drink blood is so tempting.
But we're not doing that in this run.
Yes, because you drink even one person, you can't get the good ending.
Yep. And I am nothing but...
Sodium hypochlorite. Dangerous to administer, but efficient in the proper dosage.
And I am nothing but aware of the preferences of my companion here.
Yeah. Well, we also said we'll wait to see if. I mean, the good ending. I've seen the good ending. I'm not going to say what it is for people watching. It's neat. I like it, but I haven't seen the bad ending. I
Yeah,
I do not like how narrow, as in one misstep, how narrow the focus is on good ending versus bad ending.
honestly, it does make sense for the particular character that this story revolves around. Um,
Fair.
which is, of course, not Jonathan Reed, because why would we play the protagonist of the story? I'm very sorry, I keep sounding like I'm down on this game when I'm not at all.
I mean, if you have gripes about a game but you still love playing it, it's got to be good. Everybody's going to have gripes about things they love, I think.
Oh, yes.
I mean, I have plenty of gripes about Control's what 3 or 4 advanced improvement mechanics,
Oh, yes.
which sounds hypocritical because I absolutely love Grim Dawn's multiple advancement mechanics.
Yeah, but Grim Dawn's a different style of game. Like,
Yep. Excuse me. Oh, you didn't hear me yawn.
no, I didn't. Push to talk is good like
Unfortunately, I have a live mic for my OBS, but
that. Ah. Oh,
is
what?
that the Lady of the Night, or the priestess of the night, or whatever she calls herself?
Yes, the Mistress of the Night.
Yeah.
Yes. Tippets, I think that's Tippets. I think they're outside. Is everyone outside right now?
What the heck? The
Oh,
the compass rose things on games can be so confusing.
oh, well, yes, particularly when it's a game like this and people actually move around according to a schedule and
We're looking for Gwyneth Brannigan.
Yeah.
Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr. Jonathan.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir. I'm Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan.
I
Welcome to the Pembroke Hospital.
thought I talked
Did
to
he
her
really?
already.
It's a good thing
I
I wasn't
don't
home to watch
remember it, but
All members of staff have all...
I see. Well, I'm a little surprised. I suppose I'll just have to deal with this unexpected notoriety.
You must know, blood transfusions are Dr. Swansea's primary subject of research. He is convinced it is the future.
I mean, it's part of the future.
How are things here?
Not good, to say the least. We're struggling against an invisible enemy, more lethal than any bullet from a gun. It's hard, Doctor.
An invisible enemy. Quite a poetic term for a disease, especially from a nurse.
Sorry, Doctor. These last few weeks have been exhausting. We could all do with a good night's sleep.
Do you think this hospital can survive the epidemic?
We are all volunteers here, and we're trying to hold fast, but how do we beat an invisible killer? Some nurses have already resigned.
I mean, isn't that I?
It's very fatalistic.
Yeah, I mean, how do we? I mean, I get it. I mean, we're kind of living in a lot of in that, though not as severe since we got better technology and such.
Yeah. How do we beat an invisible killer? Well, it's called lockdowns and treatment and tracking cases, and of course they couldn't do all of the stuff that we do back then. So
I mean, this is 1920s, right?
yes,
So I mean, they didn't have the facility. There was quote unquote overcrowding. Not like they didn't have less people in the world than we do now, but the facilities weren't as well suited to holding people. So I guess they couldn't do
mm.
lockdowns as well.
Well, also communications, like communicating to everyone that they needed to lock down, like was not as efficient either. Um, and even then, like you know, in today's age, you can go after anti-maskers and things like that. You can target them. How do you target them in without mass media? You don't.
Yeah,
Those people existed back then.
yeah.
People who
There was the anti-masker league in, I think it was San Francisco and a couple other places in the states.
Yeah, no, everybody thinks when something like this happens that there's always a segment of the population that believes something like this is some sort of conspiracy
Yeah.
when that makes no sense.
I'm not familiar with all the staff yet. Perhaps you could help me.
Brilliant professionals, most of them. Dr. Swansea has a gift for recruiting talent.
Most of them. Is there a problem I should know about, nurse?
It would be inappropriate for me to speak ill of a colleague.
Is there anyone that stands out?
Well, I have never met someone as dedicated as
Oh,
Dr.
really?
He should be a standard for us all here. If only he were younger.
Why should his age be a problem?
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself to the limits. He just doesn't know when to stop and get some rest.
Oh. Interesting.
Nurse Brannigan, if you do know something, please tell me. Anything
That
you
portrait
say
doesn't
will
look
be
particularly old.
No,
No,
I may disagree with some
no,
conduct,
Tippets doesn't look
but
old
in
at
the
all.
end, everybody is doing their best.
She doesn't
Tell
look
me what Dr. Tippet did.
particularly
I know his mistake
approving.
caused the patient's death.
If I had not covered up his error, Dr. Tippets would have been fired from this hospital. I could not let that happen.
You can't allow your emotions to dictate your conduct concerning patients, Nurse Brannigan.
Look around you, Dr. Reed. Do you really think we can afford to lose a brilliant practitioner like Dr. Tippet's in our situation?
I imagine in this situation, with doctors pushed to the brink, there's a lot of patients that died to medical error,
Hmm.
especially since there's less fallback in the time period.
Oh, yes. So, please forgive me if I'm wrong here, but if a doctor makes a, like, doctors do make medical errors all of the time. This is why we have medical insurance and, well, I don't mean all the time, but it happens with regularity because doctors are still human no matter what they think. Um, so we have medical insurance and we have other things to, mitigate that, but doctors can make some serious errors.
Yeah.
Do like you Yes, and also you do get fired for medical malpractice.
Yeah, but
But at what point?
I gotta think this is you did not have the right to. Doing it secretly is a bad precedent.
This is very true.
To clear Dr. Tippet's name must be the decision of Dr. Swansea. You can't take matters into your own hands.
I respect Dr. Swansea's authority and management, but he's no idea what happens here on a daily basis. I did what I had to do.
I
Goodbye,
thought
nurse.
I thought we had another hint.
Yes, we had another hint on Dr. Tippett's.
Got it. Okay.
So we've got to go talk to Dr. Tippett's now, who...
Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. Such an honor, sir.
Thank you. And you are?
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of your work, Dr. Reed.
And you're giving me a Buster Keaton vibe, sir.
Please, could you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reed. I run my own experiments. I'm convinced it's the future.
Are his sclera black?
No, there's just this, like, he's got a very dark shadow in the corner of his eyes.
Okay.
What
It's
made you
not
choose to be a
natural.
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired me. I
Lack
am
of
honored
sleep
to have the
or just
opportunity
bad
to work.
animation? Or textures,
Oh.
rather.
Alright, so he's flattering me.
They don't really. They just tell you what you're saying. They don't tell you what kind of attitude it has, do they?
Not really. I mean, flattery is useless. Okay, so you tried to flatter me, and I don't like that. I'd be glad to help you is like, well, flattery A works, but B, maybe encouraging him to do something that we agree with him doing. Research is exhausting, you know, bringing him back down to earth, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Uh,
mean, I can definitely see each of these being, having like, I can see Jonathan saying each of these things.
yeah, I can. Let's. I would. The bringing him down to earth because we're gonna. You would have to be working with him.
Yeah.
I'll give you some advice, but understand that nothing beats practical experience, which can be exhausting and solitary work.
Of course, sir. And don't worry, I will never allow myself to be a burden, neither to you nor this hospital.
I based my technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental. and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
I mean, he's right about that, but at what cost?
Yeah.
What can you tell me about the Pembroke?
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
You seem quite optimistic. It's a rare and precious attitude in these difficult times.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity to resolve the situation.
True. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. We're not smiling now.
Do you need help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time.
The body language procedures that they got worked really well for someone who's very, very nervous and twitchy and kind of afraid of being backed in a corner, literally or figuratively. In his case, I'm not sure it's supposed to be that way. It just comes across kind of like he's been chemically enhancing himself to get through things.
A little bit. I think there's a bit of like he's a bit of a fanboy. He's meeting his, he's meeting his parasocial relationship crush, and he wants to impress, but also I don't think he's a bit too eager. He's a bit like he's at risk of pushing the limits and hurting someone in the process.
Yeah.
Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really want? To save him, or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing but to save my patient, Dr. Reed. Especially since I know Mr. Fiddick's story.
Tell me Mr. Fiddick's story.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury. He first claimed it was an accident.
But why would he hide such crucial information from us?
Because he is a proud father, ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
This personal involvement could also appear to be a lack of impartiality. You must know that a good surgeon must remain neutral.
I agree. But that does not excuse Dr. Ackroyd's behavior, a man who did not even take time to converse with his patient.
Do you think keeping his distance was a mistake?
All I know is that I'm taking care of human beings with desires, hopes, and fears. Not some biological machine comprised of blood, bones, and flesh.
That's a largely more empathetic position than he originally came across as having.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
And it's time for a new video.
Mm-hmm.